great to be here and talking to you. In fact, it would have been a pleasure if I would have been over there personally at your campus, and that's what I had committed to Shanu and I think Khush also. But unfortunately, because of my tight business schedule, I came yesterday night at 11 o'clock and again flying back tomorrow. So thought of it won't be possible to come over there personally and talk to you. But this is a nice opportunity which has been provided. Of course, technology is a big time issue, and I understand the ISDN lines are not working over there. So let us try it out on this thing Skype. I hope this would work. So let me give you a background of this. Shanu, just interrupt me if I'm not audible or something.
Sir, you are very much audible. Hello, sir. I'm Keshav here. I am a second year student at IIM Shillong. So before you begin, I would like to introduce you to the batch. Is that okay with you?
Oh, great. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Good morning, students of PGP 12. PGP 11. It is indeed an honor for us to have Mr. Arvind Bagankar. He is a passionate health and environmental safety specialist, and has also great experience in business continuity plan. He has joined Kraft Food Cadbury India, has around 23 years of work experience across production, across quality, across sales. Sir has been across various sectors such as steel. He's been across in FMCG, in petrochemical also. He is currently the corporate head of environmental health and safety and also business continuity plan at Kraft Food Cadbury India. Sir, I think the students are ready for you now. You can please engage us in your session for today.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Keshav, for the introduction. And just let me add something to what he has introduced. And he has rightly said, I am passionate about the sustainability, safety, environment, and that's how I have been in this business. I'm basically a safety and environment engineer. Did my post graduation in environmental engineering and started my career with a company called Deepak Fertilizers and Petrochemical Corporation. They are into fertilizer and petrochemicals, manufacturing nitric acids, ammonia, and the other kind of related raw material required for manufacturing ammonia, and that's based at Navi Mumbai over here. I worked there for 13 years. Then thereafter, I moved to as a group safety leader for sustainability leader for Ispat Industries, which is now a part of Jindal Group, and it's a steel mill. 4 million tons of steel they were producing. And then thereafter, I moved to in a regional role, Asia Pacific regional role with Owens Corning. It's engaged into a fiberglass manufacturing and US-based multinational company. And then for last 1.5 years, close to, I am working with Cadbury as an associate vice president and looking after the sustainability, safety, business continuity planning, those kind of things. Although I have been hardcore EHS person, sustainability person, but I also had a stint in operation, application development, HR, and to certain extent in sales. And today's topic, what I have chosen to talk to you is sustainability. Because I know you people are from a mixed background. Few of you could be sales background, few of you from operations background, few of you from a commercial background and a finance background also. But sustainability is something which is applicable everywhere. And, it has become a business need in today's environment. And all the multinational players who are coming over here, they have created, thanks to them, they have created lots of awareness about sustainability. Basically, sustainability is our ability to sustain, or it's a quality of not harming the environment or depleting the natural resources which are available for us and which are available for the next generations to come. So it has become necessary for all the business houses to produce the product which they are producing in a sustainable manner. So without depleting the available natural resources, or without depleting the natural resources available for the generations to come, because there are generations to come and they are going to survive on the same natural resources which are there. So that's the topic which I have chosen, and I'm going to talk something, the initiatives, what we have taken on sustainability, what is our sustainability roadmap, what we have, how we have integrated sustainability into the various processes of business, right from sourcing to selling or marketing the material into the product market, selling the products into the market, how we have integrated sustainability. That's what I am going to talk. But before I get onto the topic, let me introduce about my company. And my company is Kraft Foods Worldwide. It's a big company, number one company in confectionery products. And Cadbury is a part of Kraft Food. It was taken over by Kraft Food in 2010, February 2010. It was taken over, and now Cadbury in India is a part of global Kraft Food company. So Kraft Foods is a parent company which has about $60 billion turnover worldwide, and number one in confectionery. And Cadbury is the Indian arm of it, and we have about $1 billion turnover in India. And products, Cadbury products, you know very well. We are into Bournvita, we are into CDM, we are into, that is Cadbury Dairy Milk, we are into Perk, 5 Star, we are into Eclairs. All those products you know very well. And worldwide, Kraft is famous for its cheese, Maxwell House, Philadelphia, and the number of other products, a range of close to 263 brands we have worldwide, and it's number one company worldwide. And we have 11 brands which are more than $1 billion turnovers. 80% of our revenue comes from number one position where we are. So that's about my company. We have employed about 15,000 employees worldwide. We have operations in 80 companies, and we are selling close to 160 countries worldwide. And we have virtual presence almost everywhere. Toblerone is the new product which we have launched. It was already available worldwide, but Toblerone recently we have launched in India also, and all of you must be knowing about this product. So this is the background of my company, as I shared with you. Now getting on to the sustainability, as I told you, greening our environment, and which has become a necessity in today's world. And you will see that the sustainability officers, or the for that reason the environmental officers, are given the status of being a part of the top leadership team. And that's how I am also over here. I have been a part of top leadership team over here, and do contribute a lot from a sustainability standpoint. Because if we are not sustainable in producing, we are not going to survive. That's how the company has realized. What we have tried to do is we have tried to integrate sustainability into all the processes of businesses. As I said, right from resourcing to the sales in the market. And I don't know whether we have connectivity. But I would refer to what I have over here. And
Guys, he's gone now.
yeah, I think I'm connected again.
So
our focus has been.
Video? Sir, is the classroom visible for you? Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Is the classroom visible for you?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay.
I can see everybody.
Yeah, great.
Okay. So our focus is on reduce, reuse, recycle, and recover, and then dispose of finally. So if I am producing, say, let's say 100 tons of waste I am producing, my focus would be on reducing the waste to a large extent. So 30 to 40% of efforts are going on reducing the waste. Again, 20 to 25% on recycling the waste. Recovery is close to say 15%, and leftover goes as a disposal to the landfill sites. So that's how we have been managing our sustainability in, as I told you, reduce, reuse, recycle, and recover. When I talk about reducing, we have a number of projects taken up on waste reduction. All of you must have heard about Lean Six Sigma. So close to if we are having 8 to 10% of waste in our operation and our efficiency is 92%. The efforts are taken on bringing down the waste by 5% every year. And my sustainability roadmap, what I have developed for the company is we are reducing 5% of water, 5% on waste, 5% on energy, and 5% on carbon emission. Sorry to 7% on water. So that's how the roadmap is, and 5, 5, 5, and 7%. So waste reduction is close to 5% what we are talking, and one more additional thing which we have done is we are reducing the packaging material used for this. And packaging material, all of you must have heard. We have sensitized, or people have been sensitized a lot about it on the packaging material, and the polyethylene terephthalate or polypropylene, which we have been using in the packaging material. It's not disposable, and lot of noise around it. In Central Railway banning the packaging material. It has been, and we have taken efforts on reducing the packaging material which we are using over here. Also, we are in a process of changing the packaging material which is required for our product, and trying to make it in an environment friendly manner. So recyclable packaging material we are going to use over here. We have basically 6 projects taken over here on sustainability. The first one is Project Carbon, the second one is Project Aqua, the third one is Project Ozone, and the fourth one is Project Greenpeace, and the Project WOW is the 6th project, that is War of West. That's what we call it. In the Project Carbon, what we have, as I told you, we are reducing the 5% carbon. We have taken a target of reducing the carbon emissions or the greenhouse gases by 5% in our operation, and number of efforts have been taken on this, carbon and energy being interlinked. So the moment we reduce on energy consumption, we are able to achieve this emission of carbon by close to 5%. Number of projects have been taken up. The first one I can tell you, using the greener fuel, that is the agro fuel or natural gas instead of carbon intensive fuels like furnace oil in the boilers or coal in the boilers. So fuel switch is one of the key project what we have taken up on this. Another project is definitely reducing on the consumptions in the HVACs or energy consumption in number of high energy intensive equipment what we have. So we have variable frequency drive. We have used energy efficient pumps. So by way of that, we are definitely reducing on energy consumption, and in turns it is giving us a benefit of carbon emissions also. We are trying to resource the power from various energy neutral, various green energy we are trying to resource. We are trying to take power from the windmills. We are trying to take power from the hydroelectric sources, and nowadays that facility available. Somebody is feeding to the grill, and our Baddi plant is fully runs on the hydroelectric power. We are also in discussion with the people in Karnataka, wherein we can source power from windmills. So that way, the power which we are going to utilize will be environment friendly power, and it will be a green power. So this is the Project Carbon which we have taken. Project Aqua is something related to consumption of water. So here, as I said you again, the same philosophy we have used: reduce, reuse, recycle, and recover. So we have tried to reduce the water consumption. Most of our water consumption is because of the cleaning activities what we have. Chocolate making as such do not require water. We do not add any water into our process or the product. And so whatever water we require is for washing and cleaning purpose. So weekly cleaning, monthly cleaning, those kind of cleaning activities which we have. So what we have tried to do is we have tried to reduce the consumption water and cleaning by resourcing by having the options of water efficient cleaning guns, high pressure cleaning guns, which requires less volume of water, but at the same time with the high velocity and high pressure we can do the cleaning activity. So that is one effort on reduction of water consumption. The another is the same wastewater is treated through wastewater treatment plants and to the reverse osmosis process, and we are again using it into the cleaning process. Same water has been utilized in the cooling towers and to certain extent into boilers also. So that is something around recycle and recover of the water. So that is about the project Aqua. The project, the third project is Project Ozone, which talks about reduction of ozone depleting substances into into our operations, and this is mostly all the ozone depleting substances have been phased out from our operations, and we have all our R123 and R34A, that kind of refrigerants we are using into our processes, and all the ozone depleting substances, SCFCs and HFCs have been replaced by this. Even the vesiculars which are being supplied by us into the market, those are all ozone friendly kind of equipments, environment friendly kind of vesiculars we have supplied. So that is all about Project Ozone. The Project Greenbiz talks about the packaging material, and number of efforts have been taken on this. One of our projects which we had taken has won the DuPont Global Award on sustainability, which talks about the eclair or the Hall's jar, which we see into the market available with the retailers. So the we have reduced the we have changed the design of this jar, and we have reduced the packaging material, the PET, that is polyethylene terephthalate, which is required for this kind of product. We have reduced that, and by way of this, we have reduced the packaging material which is required for this, and thus the energy utilized to produce this kind of product. So that also we have reduced. The James packaging, what you know, is the monolayer and bilayer. Earlier used to be a bilayer product. So now we have brought it to a monolayer product. BOPP we were using, polypropylene was the top material, and PET was the inner lining. So we have used only PET, and it's a monolayer product now. So this monolayer product is recyclable product because of the bilayer, because of the two layers which had, one is of the polypropylene and one is the polyethylene terephthalate. We were not able to recycle. Now having used only polypropylene as a laminate, so we are able to recycle that now. And that's the project Project Greenbiz what we have. And I already discussed about Project WOW, that is War on Waste, and we have taken a target of 5% reduction into the waste reduction. First of all, have a Lean Six Sigma and the Kaizen projects in the operating line, by way of which we will reduce waste being produced in the chocolate. We are going for energy. We are going for cleaner fuel like natural gas at various plants wherever it is available, so that the ash production is also getting reduced. So that's what the efforts we are taking on sustainability. Our sustainability report is being produced every year, and right now we are meeting the target. By 2014, we will be reducing our footprint by 15%, and 15 to 20%. That's what the target, and we are meeting those targets now. And a lot of efforts have been happening over here, and this is all possible because of the commitment of the leadership team, because of the engagement of employees. So that's how this is possible, and we are meeting our targets. We are very happy. We have been recognized globally for our efforts on sustainability. So this is what as a craft we have been doing. We are also doing a carbon labeling. We in a process of carbon labeling. Wherever it is possible, we'll try to put the carb label, and we will try to indicate how much of the carbon emissions has happened because of while producing this plant, so that as a responsible corporate citizen, we will be able to communicate with the people that this much of carbon emission has happened or this much of energy has been consumed while producing this product. So that's all the journey what we have on sustainability, what we have taken. I know there are I'm placed at a distance place, and I do not have the direct access to you, or maybe we would find some difficulty, and I do not get the pulse also whether what I am talking is you will interest you, or is it of some relevant to what you have been studying over there. So I will take a pause over here and open up for the interaction or the question answers you have. So whatever you heard me so far, so would like to understand from you what you heard so far from us, and if there are any questions, I am open for it. Yeah, please go ahead.
So like,
will it just come nearby?
I guess it
It will be audible.
So like you just said that Kraft Food has taken over Cadbury in 2010. So sir, what is the benefit, or what is the good thing that has happened to Cadbury after Kraft Food took over, and from the operations point of view, sir? Like did they brought in better practices? Did they brought in a lot of changes in the leadership style, the management style, and more from the operations point of view, sir? Because Kraft Food is international.
Yeah. Whenever somebody takes up some other company, there are definitely the synergies around both the companies which are built. Cadbury had some good practices. Kraft also had good practices. So because of this merger, both were benefited. One thing is definitely the economic benefit, the financial benefits were the one. This thing, Kraft actually did not have a presence in India, other than Tang was the only product they had in India. And that was also not doing well at that point of time. So when the Kraft took over, Cadbury's presence was mainly in the European countries and the countries like India and the China. So there its presence was there. By way of taking over Cadbury, Kraft got a presence in India. At the same time, Cadbury got an exposure to US and the other markets also. So that's one benefit they got basically. And definitely Kraft has an objective of taking over, so Cadbury getting benefited may not be appropriate to say at this point of time, because Cadbury is part of. So answer. Hello?
Hello, sir. Sir, I'm sorry, the last, I think, few seconds it was missed out a little. Can you just repeat, sir, please? I think the network was not well, so can you just repeat the last?
Yeah, so because of the Cadbury Kraft merger, in fact, it was a taken over by Kraft. The synergies, definitely we could build on the synergies both companies had, and both companies were benefited. When I say both company, it will be Kraft, because Cadbury no more exists and it's only a part of Kraft now. Cadbury has a presence mainly in India and European market. Kraft got an entry into India and European market because of that. And also the Cadbury product, which were very popular in India and other places, got an exposure to North American markets also. So that's the main advantage which Kraft got. Kraft had only one Tang product in India. Now Kraft, Oreo, you have seen Oreo is a Kraft product. Now you will see many other products coming into India, which are very popular worldwide. So the Cadbury distribution network was readily available to them. Cadbury's market presence, Cadbury's brand is already available. Cadbury is a very popular brand, so we are using the same brand for pushing the Kraft product into market. Like Oreo is originally a Kraft product, so now it is marketed under Cadbury name.
So, but like
Yeah. Any other question?
Sir, like that is from the merger acquisition point, but so like all these initiatives, sustainability initiatives that you've told of, are these a part of? Did they came in only when Kraft took over Cadbury, or were they already there before also?
Yeah, Cadbury was already there, and you know that most of the multinational companies have this. As I said, Cadbury was strong in some part of this, and Kraft was strong in some part of this. Maybe on the environmental front, we were not so strong as a Cadbury. But when the Kraft took over, U.S. companies, U.S. regulations are more stringent. U.S. commitment is more stringent. That's what we have seen, and it would not be like comparison may not be good that way, but when it was taken over by Kraft, it is being driven more rigorously. That's what I would say. And Kraft has their own standards. So American standard, Cadbury had basically the British standards. So what we see is American standards are slightly stringent than the British standards, and definitely, as you rightly said, we are pushing hard as a Kraft part rather than being a Cadbury part.
Sir, good morning, sir. This is Nandakumar here. Sir, can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead, Nand. Yeah.
Yeah. Sir, these processes and projects which you were explaining are certain internal initiatives which will take care of the footprint inside the company. Is there any initiative which you have taken to sustain the livelihood of people from whom you procure, like sustainable sourcing, and you have a lot of power in terms of with the people because your product reaches the nook and corner of India? Is there any initiative at the product level you have taken so that the food practices of the people are, made better or something like that?
I'm very happy to listen Nand this kind of questions, and that shows the depth you have, and that shows the broad bandwidth you have about this subject, knowledge of bandwidth you have. So definitely you might be knowing that cocoa is one of the main raw material which is required for us, and we are resourcing this. Earlier, Ivory Dome is one country. Ivory Coast is one country which is supplying this cocoa beans to us, and because of some non-ethical practices which are not sustainable, we have understood that there are certain practices which were non-ethical, which were not sustainable. So we stopped sourcing from Ivory Coast, and now we have moved to Ghana. All of you must be knowing. Plus, now what we have started cultivating our own cocoa beans, and we have tied up with Kerala University, we have tied up with Tamil Nadu University, and we are developing our own cocoa beans. So now close to 25 to 40% of cocoa is been sourced indigenously. We have partnered with the farmers. So we have improved the livelihood of farmers. Cocoa were never produced in India. Earlier, it was only Cadbury who has motivated farmers to do a cocoa plantation in India. That is definitely a sustainable way of producing, and also improve the livelihood of the people. The second question you asked about the product side, consumer, and we fully understand our responsibility on the plastic waste which is going into the market. And so what we are doing over there, it is very difficult to recover the plastic which has been thrown into the garbage. But we are tying up, we are in a process of discussion with and I presented a paper in Chennai the other day, wherein, I interacted with all these plastic manufacturers and also invited them to partner with us, because they are the one who are producers of plastic and we are the one who are users of plastic. So they should also be a partner with me on going into the market. So what we are doing is, you might be knowing, you might have heard about carbon footprinting, that somebody else is generating the carbon. At the same time, some other people are taking initiatives to reduce carbon. And that's what the Kyoto Protocol had said. European companies and the American companies have been the highest emitters of carbon dioxide. As compared to that, India and the other developing countries who are not so developed, they have been taking lots of initiative on reducing the carbon emission. So we have applied the same logic over here, and we are promoting efforts on reducing the use of plastic so that less number of plastic the market. At the same time, if some NGO is coming up and who is taking up, getting help from the, who can collect the garbage from the market, whosoever it may it be Cadbury, may it be ITC, may it be, and whosoever's plastic is lying into the market, they will collect, and we will be funding these kind of activities so that they will collect, we will recycle that kind of plastic, and we will dispose it off. So it is very difficult that if an Eclair wrapper is going or a James wrapper is going into the market, so to collect back that wrapper. Also, we might, in the past also we have tried, we might give some incentives to the people who surrenders the wrapper to the retailers and collect it back and try to recycle. So these kind of initiatives are on the anvil. But at a very primitive stage on the product, this thing I have been involved. I am able to align my management on this. We are waiting for some concrete proposal to come up. But our commitment is very much there on the product side also. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Hope I have answered your question.
Yeah, sir. Thank you.
Hello, sir. My name is
Hi.
My name is Debashish.
Debashish. Hi, Debashish.
Hello, sir. So my question is, like you said about reduction in your ash content, your target of a 15% reduction or 7.5% reduction. So my question is, don't you think these are all piecemeal approaches? For example, we already have a system which is highly unsustainable, and we keep on trying to make it as sustainable as possible. I think, will there be ever a state in such a system where you will have complete sustainability? My concern is, sir, isn't this a larger problem, clogging gates of policymakers or everything around processes? For example, instead of designing a process which is in itself very sustainable and which when expanded to any other form on its own can form sustainable new businesses, we are putting all our energies and all our mental strength into something or bettering a process which in itself stands for unsustainability.
Very well said, Debashish, and our efforts are towards that only. I told you about water neutrality, and we would like to use the 100% water which we are getting. It will be difficult to produce, it will be difficult to operate a chocolate making plant without water, because water is definitely required for cleaning processes. So what I hear from you is our approach is something 5% reduction or 7% reduction that you thought piecemeal, but it's a journey. Somebody had started this 70, 80 years back, and it required so much of energy, so much of water to produce. Now, if I stop usage of energy, if I stop usage of water, then how am I going to produce the material? I would definitely require raw material for producing something. So my approach will be reduce into this four parameters we talked about, or the four requirements which we have, and 5% reduction every year, so that by end of 2014 we will be reducing 15% at the level of 2010. So that's what the approach is. Approach is definitely, and we are finding out solutions which are sustainable kind of thing. We have started using agrofuel because agrofuel is something which takes about 20 to 25 years to generate. But if we talk about mineral fuel, which takes millions of years, if we are using natural gas, or if you are using fuel like furnace oil, or if you are using fuel like diesel into production, then it takes millions of years to produce. Because all of us have learned during our school days that how the trees fall, they get buried, and then it becomes a kind of mineral resource. But whereas the agriculture fuel, which can be produced within couple of years of time or few years, so we are going for a fuel like husk, we are going for a fuel like bagasse, which is produced every year, which consumes carbon dioxide for producing itself, and while we burn, that same carbon dioxide is emitted out. So it's a carbon neutral kind of fuel. So those efforts are definitely going on. 100% recycle of water. Almost all our plants are zero discharge plants, and whatever water is really required, only that much will be required. Rest of the water is recycled. So that kind of efforts we are taking. Have I clarified?
So do you think your process will ever be 100% sustainable?
Uh, so we are sustainable. I mean, we are going in that direction. So sustainability is the quality. Sustainability is what do you understand by sustainability? So sustainability is to produce in a manner wherein we conserve the resources for the generations to come. So one is that the resources what we have, the natural resources like the coal, it may be like other fuels, mineral fuels. So we are definitely conserving that. As I told you, we are switching over from coal or mineral fuel to bagasse, which is produced every year. The rice husk, which is produced every year. The cotton kind of thing, which is produced every year. So we consume, we produce it every year. So that is what is sustainable way.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Good morning, sir. My name is Manan, and I would like to ask about the initiative of yours, which you were telling that you will be collecting wrappers for the purpose of recycling. So this
Yeah.
forms a part of reverse logistics, and it has its own cost involved. So how do you plan to make it more sustainable to get more value out of this thing? Because this will also involve some costs. Hello?
I fully agree, and there is difficult part. What we are thinking of doing it. Somebody else will do this activity, and we will fund for this activity. And we have a sustainable CSR fund available with us, and we will be funding this activity. We ourselves do not have resources to do this kind of activity. So there are NGOs we are looking for who can come forward and do this kind of activity. Few of us have already shown interest into doing this kind of activity, and we will be funding. We have every year some fund available for sustainability, which we will be using for this kind of activity, CSR activities. So we may not be gaining anything out of it, but this is as a responsible corporate citizen, some amount of our revenue generation, some amount of our gross profit, we will be keeping for this kind of activity also.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, just like you answered Devashish's question, that Devashish's question was that will your company be 100% sustainable? So just like that, when a company is growing big, they'll require more raw material, and every raw material will not be sustainable. But at the same time, when it goes big, then a lot of activists will come and ask questions that put question on your working, and they'll say that you are putting in so much of waste in the market. So how do you tackle those activists? How do you think that? Because sustainability is something that should come from inside a company. It should be an initiative and not a forced thing. So how do you, like a lot of big companies have faced a problem?
So as I told you, sustainability is on energy, sustainability is about water, sustainability is about the waste which we are producing, and sustainability is about the energy or the carbon emission which is. So on this forefront we are already working, and our efforts are like, it's a journey. We started this journey somewhere around 2010, and we are close to already reach to the targets which we have taken for 2013. And this year our emission reduction, or this year our water consumption per ton of chocolate produce would come down by 12% what it was required at some point of time in 2010. So if say 5 KL of water was required to produce 1 ton of chocolate, now we have already brought it down by 12%, and it's a journey. It will continue. Now, if you say that immediately next year we should be, zero in water consumption, that may not be possible. It is also supported by the technology. New and new things are coming up for cleaning processes. If we could use something like AR, or if you use something like, new technologies are coming up. We are also open for that. And we are working on number of companies like Ford Marshall, Wipro, for giving us solar energy panels or something of that kind. So finally, it's a journey. So by 2014, if we are targeted 15% reduction, definitely we have a plan to reach to a level which will be a sustainable. But if you say that tomorrow, in absence of proper technology, it may not be possible, immediate future. But it's a journey. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Sir, we'll just have one more question, sir.
Okay.
Good morning, sir. This is Rajesh. Sir, my question.
Hi, Rajesh.
Just you talked about the solar panels procurement from Wipro and other things. As far as my understanding goes, probably being a food processing industry, you can utilize solar energy in a big way if you go for solar concentrator on for applications. So I just wanted to have your opinion on this particular issue. What is the feasibility of use of solar concentrator in the field of food processing?
Okay, so we had a very detailed interaction with Wipro. We had thought of, there are a number of other companies also to whom we are talking. In our Bangalore factory, most of the street lights and most of the low intensity kind of equipments are running on solar energy. But there are limitations to this kind of thing. And in today's scenario, it also requires, some of the part of the India, it may not work where, the solar intensity is not so high. Plus replacement of the batteries is also the expensive. So viability is one part definitely. But when I talk about sustainability, I don't look at it from a viability standpoint. And this is a journey we are going ahead. We are talking to the people. We want it to be on a larger scale. So we have started, initially we have converted all our street lights on a solar light. We are also, one is using the solar photovoltaic cell. The other one is like directly using solar lights into the warehouses and manufacturing facilities. So we have installed solar tube, like you see some roof light coming up over there. If you visit our factories in warehouse, the same light is coming directly through the sun. So we have installed solar tubes over there and using directly the sunlight into illuminating our warehouses. So we are progressing in that direction. Bangalore, we have taken this initiative. In the other parts also, we are working on it.
Sir, what you talked about is photovoltaic part. My question is some more or less towards concentrators, because we can focus the solar energy and probably that can be utilized for reducing the moisture level or the drying of the raw material that you are using. So whether any feasibility is there in that direction or not?
Rajesh, this technology is new to me. I will be very open and upfront with you. But if you are saying that this is used for concentrating the solar radiations for reducing the moisture, this is a great thing. And if you have any literature available and there are people who are selling this technology for a commercial application, I am open for it. We can interact. You can take my email address and you can share the same thing with me and also the people who are ready to supply this kind of technology. And we will be keen to have this kind of technology in our operation.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Rajesh. Yeah. Anything else?
Sir, I think with that we come to the session of the podium. Sir, I think for such a sweet industry, I think the efforts that goes behind in making sure that sustainability is championed is huge. And from our side, we really congratulate Craft Food for championing this cause, which is again the theme of IIM Shillong. So we very much identify with what you're saying. We wish to have further such interactions with Craft Food in the long run. Thank you very much for this session, sir.
Thank you so much. It was nice talking